All right, the blooper reel has now started. Just that's your warning.
Hello, I am very polite and well behaved.
I have a feeling that's not true at all.
That's the best recording we have so far.
I'm big on self-responsibility, but I do sort of blame you. You figured out 2 or 3 things that make me laugh, and he's just like picking on me now. Okay, my fidget stick is ready. Hang on. Dang it. Okay. Dude, don't do this to me. I don't have 2 hours to laugh into my microphone.
I know. You didn't happen to see the blooper reel, did you?
I did not. No.
Okay, good. Save it until after.
That way.
Okay.
Oh, is your phone off? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I'm off.
Mine is not. Sorry about that. Off. And what's the other one? Airplane mode.
Silent, turn off, vibrate, airplane mode, power off, run over it with a car.
There you go. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right, happy to have you here today. Welcome to Cashflows. I'm Cash Matthews, and we have a great show for you today. This one's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have the cupcake lady.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about cupcakes. And what better thing literally something that makes you happy is cupcakes. And we'll introduce you here in a minute. But this is going to be a good thing. Cashflows is a show that is just designed to help entrepreneurs and people. And we talk about those things that are important to you, whether they're business or life or relationships or cupcakes.
Yeah.
It's a topic.
It is a topic.
I'm excited about it. Our show is for people that sometimes you feel like you get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's life or business or relationships, but sometimes you need to get unstuck. And one of the best things I found to get unstuck is copy off of somebody who's having success in an area where you're not having success. To me, that was, of course, in the 3rd grade, that was frowned upon when my teacher and my Aunt Dorothy, same person, caught me copying off my neighbor. I got in trouble for it. But in this life, you can copy off of people. And if you're one of those people that gets a little stuck from time to time, want to learn more, do more, be more, become more, then Cashflows is a show for you. We bring people from around our community who are actually doing things. Often, those dreams just live in our head. But if those dreams live in your heart and you want to take another step, meeting people like we're doing today is a fantastic way to go out and learn a little bit. We'll get that part of our show started in a bit. But first, I want to introduce my co-inhabitant of the 3x4 box that we're in. We do this inside of a refrigerator box that we found, and so things are going pretty well.
It's a big refrigerator.
It's a big refrigerator, yeah, but it's electrified, so we're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Kenneth Bauckham. Kenneth, good day.
Hey, how's it going?
Very well.
Good.
This has been a tremendous day.
It has been.
We just had lunch, and now we're going to talk about cupcakes.
Well, it's appropriate time.
I mean, like the timing of this couldn't be any better.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it too.
All right.
And, we've got, entrepreneurs, small business owners, seasoned and less seasoned.
Seasoned and brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
All over town, wondering, what kind of piece of daily wisdom that we may have that we could share with them through this podcast. And I'm sitting here thinking, the Tulsa B.O.N.G group, right? So they sponsor,
Right.
We're hosting our podcast
Right.
there. And, so it's primarily a Facebook group, and then we get together.
Right.
So on Facebook, how do you give a good referral? Is there any magic behind that?
Okay, well, now that's a great thing to talk about is like how to use Facebook, because that's where all almost 5,800 of us met.
Yeah.
Is on Facebook. And, in this entrepreneurial world, we want to learn how to best use a resource like Facebook. For some people, Facebook is a distraction.
Right.
And for other people, it's an absolutely wonderful tool. And I've heard people say bad things about Facebook. And the fact is they just don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And so, we built our group together, started with 3 of us, and then there were 12 of us. And now there's almost 5,800 plus 1,000 daily visitors.
Wow.
So it's, it's a substantial group. And when you figure out, 3 point something people live in every household, we represent about almost 20,000 people in Tulsa. So
Wow.
you have to learn how to use this tool. Otherwise, you'll sit there watching kitty videos all day. Yeah, me too. And so I want to talk just for a second about how to give a referral.
All right.
And what we have found in the B.O.N.G group is that if you focus on helping other people grow their business, you'll grow your business as well. If you create friend groups who you want to promote out in the world, you will grow your business just as well, if not better than doing it any other way. And I made a business out of just referring out. I had a group in Austin when we were building down there, and there were 7 or 8 of us, and we just referred each other out like crazy.
Wow.
And it benefited everybody in the group. And some days, the realtor was getting more referrals, and some day the financial advisor was getting more referrals.
Sure.
But over the course of a lifetime, it all kind of equaled out, and everybody did pretty well. So here's how you give a referral on Facebook. Our number one group that gets a referral on Facebook is handyman. Like, hey, I need a handyman for this or that. And here's what normally happens as a referral. Somebody will put somebody's name on there. If they're really elaborate, they'll go, hey, Steve Smith, he's amazing.
Right.
And that counts as a referral to most people. There's a much better way. And if you do have somebody you'd like to refer, I'm going to share with you the magic, because the more you help others in your circle, the more they will help you. And I don't know who goes first. If that's what you're thinking, yeah, you need to, what's the technical word? You need to pull your head out.
There you go.
And realize, look, just make it a practice to be a giver.
Just do it.
And the more you can't outgive the creator of the universe, and the more you give and the more you help people, the more stuff will be reciprocated to you. Here's what I do. Here's what works. Here's what we used 2 years ago to build a group of 0 to build a group today of almost 5,800 vetted active members. When I give a referral, so let's say I'm going to refer out Kenneth Bauckham Photography, video, and podcast extraordinaire. If you want to have a photograph of you, and you should, and if you want to have a video of you explaining your business, you should. Why? Because a video works 24/7.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be there to explain it. If you want to increase your reach and your grasp, get a video guy. Well, that's a pretty good referral right there, but it's not good enough. So we had a fella ask for, I don't know, like a ceiling fan removal or replacement. I don't know what people do with ceiling fans. And there were 89 people that referred to their handyman. And I watched as this unfolded. I didn't know any of the people. Few of the people are active in our group. They just trying to help somebody make a sale. Well, we have a different slant. We're trying to build a community. So I went to the person and I sent them a message. Hi, my name's Cash. I'm one of the founders of the group. If you need to reach me for anything, here's my contact information. I want to refer my friend Don Smith to you. Here's Don's contact information, phone number, email, one more, photograph. Don has worked for me for 2 years and helped me with all my stuff. He's helped me with my investment property, and he is somebody that has a key to my house, and I trust him. I hope you guys make a connection.
Wow.
Don called me and said, quit referring me out. I'm too busy. I can't handle anymore. Stop it.
Yeah. That's powerful though. Like I can feel that just listening to that. It's not just words. It's not just tagging their business name or even their personal name. It's a whole story.
Right.
And oh, by the way, a key to my house.
People go through this world and worry that they don't have enough capital to invest in their business. Human capital, friendship capital is free.
Yeah.
And if you'll take, what did that take me? An extra minute or an extra 2 minutes to make sure that somebody who helped found the B.O.N.G group gets and his schedule is busy. And that's a man that I know, love, and trust.
Yep.
And I guess we just did a commercial for Don.
Well, and that's
Smith,
a real name. Yeah, that's a real name.
He's a real guy, and he helped build this B.O.N.G just as much as I did.
Yeah.
And so that's the way you give a referral on Facebook. If you think putting a name up there's nice, but when you're putting it up there with 40, 50, 60 other people, I think those odds are against you. And we want to build this group with people from this group. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why we don't let people in from outside the Tulsa metro. Not trying to build a real estate group in Oklahoma City.
Right.
It's more than 70 miles away because they ain't going to come to events. All they can do is take Anyway, the art of giving is what the Bong is all about. Did I do a good enough job there?
That was excellent. Thank you for
Okay.
answering that question.
Very cool. Well, we are excited about this one. We have the founder of Kupcakz, Kupcakz.com. Kupcakz, different spelling, same delicious cupcake. And we're going to meet, and I want to make sure I say it right, Summer Keylon.
That's correct.
I got it right. I am
Good
1-0.
Yes.
Summer Keylon, Summer Keylon, Summer Keylon. I'm
Ooh.
4-0.
Nice.
All right. Summer, thank you for being here
Yeah.
today. Our audience approves.
Yes.
We have a giant studio audience. Where we put them, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're in a refrigerator, so they must be up in the butter tray or something.
All right. Yeah. So, Summer, first, we met you through this Bond group that we just discussed.
Yes.
And if you could take just a moment and share those experiences with us.
So I have been in the group for about a year now, and I really haven't participated. I've just kind of hung back and, watched everybody else and been like, this is a pretty cool group, seeing everybody support everybody. And it seems different in that the personal connection is just not, passing around business cards. It's,
Right.
About the people. So, I feel like that's a really good, thing. I ended up going to my first Bong event last week, and I was really impressed. I have to say, the thing that I enjoyed the most was the words that you said, Cash.
Oh, okay.
I was very impressed because it wasn't, hi, my name is Summer and I sell cupcakes. If you need a cupcake, come see me, right?
Right.
It was, hi, my name is Summer and I like ketchup on my corn dog
Right.
or hot dog, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
And it's about the person and the personality
Right.
and not just your product. And I thought that was gold. And you actually spoke, you stood up there and you preached. And I felt like I was at church and I loved it. But you spoke into you spoke into business owners and into their lives, and you were speaking into them and growing them and developing them. And you weren't just there for, people to pass a business card and for the referral. And that spoke to me.
That
So,
is the single key, is that we got to love on each other.
yeah.
If you start to think about the average entrepreneur, I mean, a lot of them are struggling.
Most
They
definitely.
have a great idea, and they're great people, and they just can't really get the right traction that they need, or they need help in an area. And a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to ask for help.
Oh, yeah.
And asking for help is not giving up. Asking for help is refusing to give up.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate your kind words. Those are kind words. But this group sort of built itself, and that I get to be part of it is amazing to me. I mean, it is humbling when this thing grows like this, and you start to meet people that are impacted by the group itself.
Yeah.
And I'll never be able to provide as much impact as the group provides, because somebody earlier said it today. The B.O.N.G group is a networking group, but it's full of smaller networking groups and people that are all kind of loving on each other. And I'm glad that you picked up on that, and I'm glad you're part of it.
Yeah,
And-
I'm excited.
And we have a lot of lurkers. We call you a lurker,
yeah.
and we don't kick anybody out of the group for lurking. If
That's good. I'm glad.
because I don't. A lot of people have anxiety about coming into, and our group is big.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like our first year goal was to get man, it'd be cool if we get 50 people to be part of it, and it was 1,500, and now it's 50, almost 5,800, 5,700 yesterday, probably 5,800 tomorrow, and 1,000 visitors. Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for having
I think it's that culture that you're, driving and you're pushing and you're showing up for, and because people need it. Like you said, entrepreneurship is scary and it's hard, and we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
And nobody knows what they're doing, right? But you don't want to ask questions because then people are going to know you don't know what you're doing.
That's right.
So,
Right.
That showing up for them and that culture that you're creating is phenomenal. And I think
Yeah.
that it's really needed.
Well, here's what I know. We got a group of amazing people, and every day. And I mean, somebody said, "Man, you're doing a lot of podcasts every day." Like, I get to do these podcasts. I get to
Yeah.
sit here, and maybe not in this section, but I get to do more listening than talking. And for me and for us, it is esteeming. Like when our last couple of guests left, we were like, Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
And I need it too.
Yeah.
And so just as however I may be filling somebody up, or Kenneth may be doing the same, we receive that equally. And anyway, thanks for being here.
Hey, I'm
I want
excited.
to
Thank you.
talk about cupcakes.
Let's talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to get an overarching just story about your store.
Okay.
And I've got a bunch of questions I want to ask, and we'll get to those. Just say what you are, who you are, and a little bit about the store.
Yeah. So I'm Summer, and I own Kupcakz at 61st and Mingo in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we specialize in food allergies and dietary preferences. And so we offer products that are gluten-free, vegan, gluten-free, keto, which are low carb and sugar-free. And then we also offer classic stuff, because our whole thing is we believe that in life, dessert is phenomenal and amazing, and everybody should be able to enjoy it. And the truth of the matter is that food allergies are real.
Yes, they are.
Like myself, I have a lot of them, and there's a lot of people probably in your life, or you may even have food allergies yourself. And just to walk into a bakery and pick something out isn't a choice and an option for everybody.
Yeah, it's challenging.
And it is.
My wife is gluten-free.
Okay, perfect. See,
And we don't have all the options available.
No.
And now that we know where you are, game on.
Right?
Yeah.
And but we cater to those different food allergies, those different dietary preferences. We believe in clean, whole ingredients. We have complete control of our ingredients because we make everything from scratch. So we make our caramel ourselves, our fillings ourselves, our frostings ourselves. And so if you have a weird, uncommon food allergy, you can come in and we can say, hey, this is what you can have. Or we'll even cater our recipes to accommodate like a special order for you.
Wow. And what's the minimum size special order?
It would just be like a dozen cupcakes or
Wow.
a cake. So
you
Wow.
can really, that's pretty cool. You don't have
That's
to buy,
awesome.
you don't have to buy 60 cupcakes. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
Well, that's
I mean-
right. That's right.
I mean, I feel like 60 is not enough, but
So
yeah.
your store, like, is it a dine-in place or is it just a takeout place?
So our location is fairly small. It's a lot
Right.
smaller than I, have a vision for, but we do have some seating. We have a nice little cozy booth area, and then, a couple tables and a bar top.
So how many people would your restaurant seat uncomfortably?
Uncomfortably, probably 12.
Okay.
So
All right.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a pop-up. Do you have coffee there?
we do have coffee. Yeah.
Hmm.
You had me at hello. I mean,
What are we doing at the end of this?
it sounds
Right.
sounds like here sometime soon we're having a pop-up coffee
Yeah,
cupcake visit.
a little mini
Yeah.
get together. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding. That's why I said
No.
uncomfortably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't want to leak this out to the Bong
Yeah,
group just yet. There's a little ice cream store in Jinx that holds 12,
Yes.
and we had 53 show up.
Hey,
Oh gosh.
I'll let you in the kitchen. I mean,
I was about to say, how many can uncomfortably be outside, right?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, it's almost like a dream career.
Kind of, yeah.
To some degree. I mean, that's, I don't know. I hear some of these stories and I'm more amazed every day. So what do you focus on? Obviously you're having some success. Like it's starting to happen for you.
It is.
And what do you focus on as the entrepreneur, as the founder, as the public face of Kupcakz? By the way, Kupcakz is Kupcakz, cupcakes.com. So that's 2 Ks and 1 Z. Want to make sure I got it in there right. How do you focus? What do you focus on that'll help you drive success in your business?
I think the number one thing is people. Every career that I've always had in my life, my number one focus has always been people.
Yeah.
And it's, the same today as it was, whenever I first started. And whenever I was 16 years old, I started waitressing tables, and my whole focus was the person that I'm serving, right?
Sure.
Because you can either have a good experience or a bad experience at a restaurant based on your server.
Yeah.
And
that's for sure.
if they get your order right, if they bring you a Diet Coke instead of a regular Coke, or it's all about that service. And so not too long after I graduated, I started working at Carrabba's, and
Ooh, one of our favorites. Carrabba's
I know,
Italian. Have you been there?
That's right. They're delicious.
Yeah, I have a couple times, not recently, but
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of our favorites.
Yeah. And I moved from waitressing to the car side. And so I managed the car side area.
Okay.
And I grew that at the ripe old age of 19 and to the highest revenuing sales car side in the tri-state area.
Wow.
And corporate came in and they said, "What are you doing? And why is this teenager, right, like out producing, locations in Texas?"
Okay, so you've been a star since an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I said, "Well, I focus on the people." Like, I was like, I know all my customers, so-and-so calls up and I know their voice, I know their order, I know it's natural, right? And so they started questioning me and trying to figure out really, what are you doing?
Like in a negative kind of way?
No. Like they wanted to learn more. Like,
Okay.
Hey.
Like we want a copy off of you.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's our motto. So good on them.
Yeah. So then they sent me out to different Carrabba's to, go in and revamp their car side, help them out, or they would send people to me to train. And so here I am, 19, 20 years old, and I'm not thinking anything about it. And then I ended up getting married and wanted to get a real job. And so I went and worked for a labels and packaging company, and I went into sales. And I was naturally, great at it, and because my focus was the people.
Yeah.
And whenever you sell a label and a packaging, most people don't think about it, but we specialized in food, and you can't sell a food product in a grocery store without a label on it.
Oh,
And so we would have customers call us and say, "Oh my gosh, we totally forgot to order labels. Like, our production line is shut down. We can't ship our product. Like, what are we going to do?" And so we would, it was actually my father's company, and we would start up the press. We'd put their labels on, we'd put it on an airplane, and they'd have it that afternoon. And so he grew me in that culture of servicing the customer,
Right.
servicing
I
the
mean,
people,
that's
and
really
showing up.
delivering to the customer on a high level.
Most definitely. And so I've always just kind of carried that along with me. And now, as a bakery owner, my focus is the people, and I just do it in a little bit of a different way. We're showing up, if you have a food allergy or a dietary need, we're there to offer a service for you.
Okay, so younger person, you're running an Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You work your way into a sales job.
Mm-hmm.
And the sales job was with your father's company?
Yeah, he had he started the company whenever I was 12, and decided to go work for him later on.
Still cool. So where's the conversion from more traditional job to owning a bakery? Because that is not a traditional job.
It is not. No. I from a very young age, I was always creating. I would, go into the kitchen and I'd create a dessert, or I'd create a, recipe. It was just like my thing that I would do in my spare time.
Right.
And I'd be a small kid, and I'm just like, one time a recipe called for egg whites, and I used the egg shell instead of the actual egg white. And so that was a little crunchy, but, it's a learning process, right? And so
That's pretty logical. The eggshell is generally
it's white, right? I mean, whenever you're like 7 years old, you don't know the difference. And so I remember my sister being like, "Oh, what did you put in this?" And so I just always had that passion and for creating stuff. And my father's actually, or whenever I got into my teen years, I guess you could say, I kind of got away from cooking and from baking and stuff. But
when you were a teenager, what did you think you might become?
I always wanted to get a criminal justice degree and become an attorney.
Fancy.
And, have that big title and, save the world and, I don't know. But I always prayed that, whatever direction that I went to in my life, that I'd always be a life changer, a world changer. And that kind of went away. I mean, that was always a prayer in my heart, right? But, as life, you grow and, you develop and stuff. And so I always had that desire, but it wasn't my main focus.
Right.
I wasn't, like a missionary or anything like that. But I always had the desire of God, whatever path you have for me, like that's the path I want to do. But I want to be a life changer and a world changer.
But you can share God through cupcakes.
Yeah. So,
I mean, seriously, the number of people that you help who can't otherwise do it.
hmm
I believe our life is a ministry just by how we live it.
Mm-hmm.
And, the way you run your life and your business, that might be the only example of Jesus that one customer sees that day who says, maybe there's something else out there. So
yeah, that's
I don't think it went away.
no.
I think it morphed.
It did, and that's the weird thing, I go into the restaurant industry, and then I go into this sales job, and I'm just living my life, and I'm married, and I have kids, and I'm this mom, and I love to make cakes, and big birthdays are big for me, and so I'm making these big elaborate birthday parties, and I want big elaborate cakes for my kids, and I mean we're talking multi-tier for their 3rd-year birthday, and I'm arguing with bakeries around town of, I want this big thing. And a lot of them wouldn't do what I wanted. And so I was like, fine, I'll just do it myself. And so I started creating my kids' own birthday cakes. And I would do for family members. And then, birthday party, people would be like, oh, can you make my kid's birthday cake? And so it just kind of developed. And I had a neighbor one time, she was like, hey, I have this cafe. She's like, we're looking for a baker. Would you be interested into, being a baker for us and make stuff and sell? And I was like, I guess, So I ended up creating an LLC. I got a commercial kitchen. I got fully licensed, just like on this whim, like no big deal, MBD, right? And so I do that. And my dad goes, hey, I really think you need to get a storefront bakery. And I was like, what am I going to do with a storefront? I'm very successful selling labels. I love this. This is my career, right? This is my real job. What am I going to do with a bakery? Well, 4 months later, I ended up acquiring Kupcakz from the owner. And so I now own a bakery, and I'm now a business owner because, he was like, hey, this is what you should do.
Now, how long ago was that?
So it was about 5.5 years ago.
So you've had Kupcakz for 5.5 years?
5.5 years, yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's been in business for 15 years total, but I've had the pleasure of, showing up every day for it for the last 5.5.
Wow. And you built it focused on people.
I did.
You can take that whole skill set and put it into something that's just yours.
Yes. And, to bring back to what you were saying earlier, Cash, actually, what was it like? A couple years, I guess it was in 2022, June of 2022, I one day was baking, and all of a sudden, I was standing there at the counter, I remember, and I was just looking at the cupcakes, thinking about something, and all of a sudden, I felt like God spoke to me, and he said, you wanted to be a world changer, and you are. And it really does tie back, that, it's silly to say that a bakery can have such an impact on a person or a kid or an adult, but it really does.
Yeah.
And
I believe it 100%.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I first acquired the bakery, they would have gluten-free Fridays. And I was like, oh no, we gotta, I come from food allergies. We're making it where we have gluten-free every day, right? People have allergies every day, just not on Fridays. So we would, we expanded our gluten-free line. And then a few months later, we, started offering vegan because people were like, hey, you have gluten-free stuff. Do you offer vegan stuff?
Right.
And so I developed recipes. And so we started with gluten-free Wednesdays just as a start, built up the business, offering it every day. And then a couple months later, January, actually 2019, we started our keto line, low carb, sugar-free line. And so it's perfect for diabetics, It's perfect if you're watching your sugar intake, all of that. And we would have moms come in and just bawl.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I remember our very first vegan Wednesday, we had a mom bring her 12-year-old daughter in, and she said, she's standing there crying. And she's crying, and I end up crying. And
I'm about to.
I know. I keep pushing it back. But she goes, you don't understand the impact. She goes, my daughter's 12, and she has never been able to walk into a bakery and pick out a dessert like a normal kid, right?
Wow.
That's awesome.
And so that is like what sold me. I was like 2-3 months in, and I was like, okay, this is the direction. So the business plan that I had beautifully, made up went out the window, and I said, this is what we're doing.
As it often does.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We are here with Summer Keylon with cupcakes.com, Kupcakz. And she is the owner of a bakery for the last 5.5 years. And before we get back to that, Kenneth, let's say thanks to our sponsors here today, if you don't mind.
All right, let's do that. A quick pause to appreciate those who make it all happen. We're coming to you live from the dynamic space of Elevate Coworking with signs crafted by the talented team at CM Customs. We're spotlighting the innovators from Tulsa's Business Owners Networking Group, connecting great minds across the city. Financial wisdom is at your fingertips with MFP, My Financial Plan, on the web at joinmfp.com. And of course, a special nod to the man behind the camera, Kenneth Balkin Photography, for capturing our best angles. Now, back to the show.
Thank you, sir. Very well done.
Thank you.
You could do this for a living. Oh, wait, you do this for a living?
Well,
Okay.
I do now.
That is awesome. We are with Summer Keylon, the owner of Kupcakz Bakery, Kupcakz.com, right here in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. Summer, thank you for being here today. We are very appreciative of what you have going on. So your path to entrepreneurship is not unlike many others' path to entrepreneurship. Sometimes your life just turns on a dime.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you own a bakery.
Most definitely.
Or work in a podcast studio.
Right.
And my career changed the night I waited on a particular guy. I was just waiting tables.
Mm-hmm.
And I waited on a dude. And without that, I'm not here today, 42 years later.
Mm.
And, it's always interesting how God may work in your life. And I'm a guy that needs trumpets and trombones and sparklers and fireworks to believe that that's God talking to me. But most often,
I would like that as well.
yeah, I need that.
Sign up for that package.
It'd make it easier.
Yeah.
It would make it like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the sign I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ta-da.
thank you, God. But it's always been more of a silent tapping on the shoulder,
Mm-hmm. That little whisper that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, is that real?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, be still and
Yeah.
know that I am God. Wow. Like, so he
Yeah.
whispers, and you grow up a certain way thinking God's like, "Arr." I don't think it's that way at all. At least
Yeah.
it has not been yet in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it took your dad going, hey, you should open up a storefront,
Mm-hmm.
which meant leaving his business and starting your business.
Yeah.
That itself is interesting that he would
Mhm.
see.
Well, he had actually sold it by that time and retired. And I was still working for, the new ownership and
Got it.
everything.
Got
But it was still his, he still wanted the business to succeed and he still wanted it to grow and,
Sure.
and everything. But
But he cared more about you than that.
apparently, yeah.
And it's amazing sometimes what your parents can see in you that you can't
Mhm.
see in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think God must be that exact same way. He can see things in us that we can't see for ourselves. And
That's deep.
it is amazing how much smarter my dad got by the time he was 40.
Yeah.
We, as young people, we think our parents know X, and then you find out why life turned out the way it did. And you just have a much deeper appreciation. So that's such a cool story. Well, so tell us a little more about, because there are people listening right now for whom transitioning out of security
Mm-hmm.
in pursuit of liberty is a challenge. They want to steal second base, but keep both feet on first.
Yeah.
How does that transition feel? Because I've always been pretty much an entrepreneur. I mean, I waited tables, but I knew something great was going to happen. How do you make that transition? What's that like?
I think it's very scary.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Right answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's so scary, and it's so hard, and you have to have some trust and some faith in yourself,
Right.
and and the scary thing is there's no net, like you have to jump and you just have to go. I don't know if this is gonna work or not,
Right.
but here we go, and it's hard. Entrepreneurship is hard.
Yes, it is.
And it's kind of like raising kids. As a mom of two, it's when they're babies, it's hard because they don't
Right.
sleep and they throw up and, you're changing poopy diapers, and then, they get a little bit older, and then it's a different kind of hard, right?
Right.
They may sleep through the night, but then, we're hitting the terrible twos, and we're throwing temper tantrums, and your kid's kicking
Yeah,
and
at first
screaming
it's
in the
hard.
middle of the Walmart.
It's hard they can't talk, and then it's hard because they can talk.
Yeah, and then
right?
they just won't shut up,
Yes,
Or you don't know
I've
what
heard
they're
of that.
telling other people,
Right.
And then, you hit the teen years, and, you're hitting, where they're trying to self-discover and, make their own life path, and, you want them to be your little babies. And so, parenting's hard, and it's just like entrepreneurship, right? The heart is constantly changing. It's constantly developing. It's constantly
Right.
something different. And once you just think you get something figured out, like something else pops up.
That's when it changes.
It's, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think, as being an entrepreneur, you have to pivot, and you have to, always be alert and watching for that change.
That is brilliant, because as an entrepreneur, you have to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned about champions is they adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Champions adjust, man. They're not going to sit there and use the same playbook that didn't get them where they want to go. They
Yeah.
adjust. And I'm sure you've had to adjust.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I mean, 2020 was a thing.
it was awesome, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the day, when everything started shutting down, and, we closed our storefront, and I'm literally standing there bawling, crying, because I didn't know if we were going to open back up or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's big, when you have, a family and 2 kids, and then you have employees and they have kids.
Right.
That's a big thing. And so
Yeah, it has a big impact that has a ripple effect down
Mhm.
through your group.
Most definitely. And as an entrepreneur, it's your job and your responsibility to figure out how to make it work. You can't just say, whoa, this wasn't in my business plan. This is
I didn't write this down.
Right. I didn't write this down. I didn't, this isn't how it's supposed to go. This isn't in the playbook.
Right.
And you have to figure out, and you have to pivot, and you have to, change. And it's hard.
And you have
So-
to be resilient.
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff you have to let bounce off of you, but the bullets, you have to be resilient.
Mhm.
and you have to have grit and understanding. And it's so weird, the number of things you have to have: grit and compassion.
Mhm.
And they don't sound the same. And,
Oh, yeah.
and you have to be resilient, but you also have to be flexible.
Mhm.
And the lessons are just vast. So tell us one of yours. What's like your biggest lesson that you've learned in this whole thing?
Oh, my biggest lesson. I would think the biggest lesson I've learned is to be open and ready for opportunity.
Okay.
Because sometimes we kind of, get in our own little box, and, we think this is the way that things are going to go, and this is the way that things are going to be. And that's not always the truth. And you have to be ready for that opportunity. And I think that you have to prepare yourself for that opportunity, and you always have to be alert.
Right.
And I think that you physically, mentally, spiritually have to be open.
Right.
And I know as a business owner, I've always, the last 5.5 years, I've had this vision of what I want my business to be like, and we're not there yet. Kupcakz as today is not what I thought that I would have been 5 years in.
Right.
And I kept feeling like I wanted to progress, and I wanted to do these things, and I was like, okay, this is my vision, this is where I want to go, and it wasn't happening. And I just felt like something kept, stopping me and pulling me back and everything. And so I ended up doing some self-reflection, and ended up going and, being in therapy. And I've had some childhood trauma that I've had to deal with, and not from my parents. I obviously have childhood trauma, but my parents did the best that they could.
Sure.
Right.
Mm.
And I think that that's something that we all have to reflect on. And me as a business owner, I couldn't progress in my life until I'm mentally, physically, spiritually ready. And I had to get myself there. And so this past year, I've really dug deep, done a lot of self-healing, done a lot of, that's probably why I always just lurked on B.O.N.G instead of showing up.
Right.
And now I'm ready to show up. And so I feel like, me taking that time and slowing down is now going to, launch my next vision, my next, what we're doing next. And
So where's Kupcakz going to be in 5 years?
Oh, I would love to know that. I would love to know where we are in a year. I have my own vision of, a much bigger spot with, open seating and more food and, it be, so much more than what we are today.
Right.
But, I mean, we'll see if that's the road that we take.
Sometimes what you are is enough.
That is true.
And
that's a big life lesson.
That is one of the biggest life lessons, and that we are sufficient as we are. God loves us just the way we are.
Yeah.
Also loves us too much to leave you that way. And I wish he would inform me when he's in preparation to make those changes.
Send you a letter.
He has not yet sent me an express letter or anything. Well, very cool. Well, we are at the end of our interview, and what a great one. We'd like to see if you would offer just a nugget of success for our listeners, the new and the old. Is there something that you've learned that you would enjoy sharing with everybody?
I would say trust in yourself and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And if there's a desire and a thought of something that you want to do, there's a reason.
Yeah. Give it a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's our motto right there, Kenneth. Fire, aim, ready.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Trust yourself and take a shot at it.
Yeah.
And, one of my great things that I think about is how many great songs and poems and cures for diseases are in the graveyard. And I think I don't want to go to the grave with the music still in me. And when I meet people like you, that you find a thing and you go for it, I'm forever encouraged by that, and as I am by you. So thank you for being here today. All right, we are here with Summer Keylon, the owner of Kupcakz.com. Kupcakz is Kupcakz.com. And she makes all kinds of wonderful cupcakes that almost everybody can eat. They're vegan, they're gluten-free. They're, if you want them, they're sugar-full, fatful. Same
Keto.
kind.
Keto was another one.
And
Keto.
keto as well.
Yeah.
And we have normal, regular, good
Normal,
old-fashioned,
regular, you know what?
whatever.
Come in and have just a regular old cupcake.
Yeah.
Man, we're glad you exist. And we need to have a bong meeting over there.
Yeah,
Kenneth.
sounds good.
I think you'll see that sooner rather than later.
All right.
So we ready to wrap this up?
Let's do it.
All right, man. What a great show today. That's a wrap. We're glad for another show in the books, and we're thankful for Summer being here today. We're very thankful for her and for our sponsors who keep this show going, and we hope that these amazing people can give you a hope where sometimes there's not a lot of hope out there in the world that people are passing around, and sometimes we pass around the negative, but today we're passing around the positive, that we are to believe in ourselves and to take those kind of steps. So for today, you know what? Let's just be nice to each other. And let's make good choices for ourselves and for our family. And let's do one more thing that I think will change your life. And that is this. Today, for no apparent reason, let's forgive somebody that absolutely does not deserve it. Because isn't that really the message that we've been shown, to be forgiven, where our messes can become our message? And when you forgive somebody, it's not about that other person. It really is about you being willing to recognize that you've placed a chain around your waist and it's laced with rocks and it holds you down. Forgiveness is about letting go of those chains and those ropes that slow you, that you can let that other person, be free, and you can be free from it as well. And that's what forgiveness is all about, Kenneth. And to our friends out there that continue to support us, we thank you very, very much. And I want you to know that this show is about you. And we're thankful that you're here. Thanks for stopping in at Cashflows.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cashflows.